Welcome back with another episode of Recovery Dan. Good to be back doing another video. First and foremost, I'd like to just thank you all that subscribed to my channel. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. I enjoy doing videos and I love the responses that I get, that people are saying that it helps them and how it motivates them daily to continue on the journey going forward in life. I'm not going to be lengthy today, but I want to talk about recovery. Recovery is just a thought away. That's the topic that I want to speak on. Recovery is just a thought away. Your thinking process is everything in recovery. And it's not just in recovery, even when you're out there in addiction and you're trying to get back on the right track. It's your mindset, the way you think. If you think you're not gonna, if you don't ever think that you're gonna make it, or you're satisfied where you're at, but deep down you're not, it's all got to do with your thinking habits. For instance, like happiness. People try to buy happiness. Happiness can't be bought. It has to be thought. When you're caught in addiction and you continue to spend money on drugs and alcohol on a daily basis, and you're just trying to make yourself feel better, you think in your own mind that you're happy when you're high. You're happy when you're drunk, and but it's something that you have to continue to do day in and day out, which makes your life become miserable. So, you're trying to buy happiness. And like I said, happiness can't be bought. Happiness has to be thought. So, in the Bible, the story of King Agrippa, when Paul stood before King Agrippa, and Paul had so many circumstances in his life that he was dealing with, that I can't even imagine all that was on Paul's shoulders standing before the king. And King Agrippa permitted Paul to speak. And the first words that came out of Paul's mouth is, "King, I think myself happy." And I just thought about it, and I thought about it out, all the things that he was probably could have been facing, death or, execution of some sort, beheaded in prison. And the first words come out of his mouth, "I think myself happy." And that's the way we have to do. It doesn't matter about our circumstances or what in life. But we can think ourselves happy. We can think ourselves into recovery. But it depends on how you look at it. Your train of thought. It was a story that I think my pastor had said, 2 buckets were at the well, and one had a frown and one had a smile, and they both buckets filled up with water. They both left, and one of the buckets with the frown came back and said, "Every time I get filled up, I come back empty." And the one with the smile and said, "Well, every time I'm empty, I can get refilled." And it's something just that simple, the way you look at it. And in the big book, the AA big book, they talk about you have to have a total psychic change. And a total psychic change is just that you're able to look at things differently. It gives you the ability to look at things differently. You have to be able to have that mindset when you're out there in addiction that, look here, man, you know what? I'm just a thought away from getting my life together. In recovery, I'm just a thought away, man, from just making it to tomorrow. I'm just a thought away, just making it another hour, another 30 minutes, another 15 minutes, even down to 1 minute if that's what it takes. You're just a thought away. Your thought can be, well, man, I just need to get high today. Or, man, you know what, man, I got to find somebody I can borrow $5 or $10 from just to get high. Or, man, Lord, if I just had a beer, Lord, if I could just get me a beer. See, that thought, you're just a thought away when you start saying, you know what, I haven't had a beer in an hour. Lord, I think I can go 2 hours. You know what? As a matter of fact, I haven't had a beer in a day, and I think I can make it another day. As a matter of fact, you know what? I haven't had a beer in 2 days, man. You know what? I think I can go 2 more days. It's all about the way you think about things. You have to think yourself into recovery. I didn't know that for years in addiction. My mindset was just totally, I thought I needed something to get me high, something to get me drunk to be happy. And that was just my mindset on a daily basis. But the whole time I wasn't doing nothing but digging a deeper hole and making myself miserable. Just to the point where you lose everything. Just to the point where, you know, you don't even care anymore. Nothing matters to you anymore. Nothing but getting high or getting drunk. And you know, but once that train of thought came that I said, you know what? Well, maybe I can do something about this. Maybe I can put my foot forward and do something about this, and the thinking changed. It changed, and you know, I was just a thought away from it. And those of you, if you're going through it and your days get rough, and sometimes they will, and you're fighting through it, and you got some sobriety times, you have to remember that you're just a thought away from making it to the next hour, the next day, the next month, the next 6 months, the next year. You know, every day you have to think yourself happy. You have to think yourself happy. You have to wake up and be thankful for every moment that you have in sobriety. Every moment that you didn't get high, it has to be an attitude of gratitude. You have to have an attitude of gratitude, and every day think yourself happy. It's not hard to do, you know. Like I said, if you got 30 minutes clean right now, you should think yourself happy. You should think yourself happy, because you know what, you got 30 minutes that somebody else won't able to get. And now, you know, and I just wanted to encourage you today that you can think yourself happy each and every day. There's a lot of things that you can choose to be happy about than having that thought process of nothing but getting high, or life just don't seem like life without being high or drunk. Because your mindset and your thought process have taken over. You even, you know, when you're caught up in addiction and you're caught up, sometimes you're not even thankful for the waking up that morning or seeing another day. You know, all those things in life elude you because you are caught up in addiction. But you know what? What's wrong with starting to think yourself happy? Start thinking that, you know what, hey, I'm gonna do something about this. But drugs, you may have won the battle, but you will not win the war. You have to start thinking like that. You have to start thinking, man, what if I quit this mess? What would I be able to have in life? Man, can you only imagine the peace that you'll have to be drug and alcohol free? Not having to wake up in the morning time and worried about what you did the night before because you can't remember what you did. Wondering, did you do something, or the police not gonna knock on your door? You're scared to go anywhere because you don't want nobody to tell you what you did the night before. You know, that's not being happy. But you can start today. Start thinking yourself happy that, hey, you know what, I'm coming up out of this mess. You know what? This mess has beat me down long enough. Enough is enough. Hey, you know what? Every single person has some strength that's given to them. You were born with a certain amount of strength, and you know what? You have to dig down deep sometime to find it. And then, and once we become addicted to drugs and alcohol, we have to dig a little bit deeper than everybody else. We have to reach down, and we have to go deep down in there and find that strength that we need. But you know what? The start of the strength is thinking yourself happy. You know, you can think yourself happy. You can think yourself into recovery. You can think yourself. It's all about your train of thought. It's all about your train of thought. When the big book says that it recovery requires that you have a total psychic change. The whole mindset has to change. In other words, you got to think different. It gives you the ability to handle circumstances that comes up in your life. And no matter what circumstances come up in your life, you know what? I choose to think myself happy. As long as I don't have to get high, as long as I don't have to get drunk, you know what? I can always think myself happy. I can just look in the sky and think myself happy. I can pray and I look at my family, I look at my grandkids and just think myself happy. Just to walk out the door, watering the flowers, I think myself happy. It's all about just thinking yourself happy. And so, you know, for you guys that's you're in recovery and you're struggling with it and you're thinking about, you know, that desire to get high, start thinking different. Start thinking yourself happy for the sobriety time you have. Start thinking yourself happy because you're starting to know who you really are. For so many years you didn't know. You didn't know because you just wanted to get high and all you thought about, I'll do whatever I got to do to get high and to get drunk. But you got so much to be thankful for right now. But, you know, thinking yourself happy would take you farther than you ever thought you would go in recovery if you would just start to think yourself happy each and every day. Being thankful each and every day. Have that attitude of gratitude no matter what. And like I said, you're never too far down the scale that you cannot come back up. So this video is just like I said, happiness cannot be bought. It has to be thought. You have to think it. How many millionaires and go out there and commit suicide? Got all the money they could ever spend in life, but yet and still, a lot of them are committing suicide because you know what? They tried to buy happiness, and you can't buy it. It has to be thought. I was listening, my pastor had said that a salesman come to his house with like a pyramid kind of a thing they did. And you know, you get one person and then he gets somebody else, so forth. And he let the guy come in and the guy said, well, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine, and I just want you to imagine your dream house. Just imagine it. And he closed his eyes and he said, you see it? He said, yes, I do. And he said, okay, tell me what it looked like. He goes, well, you're sitting in it. and then he says, well, okay, imagine your dream car. Do you see it? He said, yes, I do. And he was like, well, tell me about it. Well, it's sitting out there in the driveway. It was nothing big, just a small economy car. But the point of it is, he was happy. He was happy in the house he was in. He was happy with the car in the yard. He didn't have to prove nothing to anybody. He was trying to compete with the Joneses next door. He was just happy because you know what? It didn't matter about the size of the house. It didn't matter about the car that was in the driveway because he was thinking himself happy. And that's the way we have to be. So I'm just encouraging you, when you're down in the dumps and you're going through trials and think yourself happy. There are so many things that you can think about that can bring a smile to your face. And you know, I'm encouraging you to do that. I encourage you to do that. Start thinking yourself happy. And again, you know, have that attitude of gratitude for each and every day that you're upon this earth. An attitude of gratitude will carry you a long ways. And like I said, and remember, Remember, happiness cannot be bought. It has to be thought. And with that, guys, I want you to remember this. You are somebody. You are somebody. Thank you. I hope to do another video real soon. But I say it again, think yourself happy. Think yourself happy in recovery. God bless you. Until we meet again.